No seed oils, no petroleum. Of course, it's dye-free and has only clean ingredients in it. So here's what I did to do that. I take 2 batches of my cookie dough and put it in a 10 by 15 cookie sheet. Once it's baked and cooled, you want to cut it in half. However that looks like for you. If you got to get your measuring stick out, but I measure with my eyes. So now you're going to turn it and cut it in half once again because we are doing 2 numbers. And y'all forgive me because I really thought this was center of the camera and it turns out it was not. Yes, I do this freehand because this is just what I like. I like the challenge. I could use a stencil, yes, but I'm not going to. You want to lightly, and I mean lightly, place those lines on your cookie because once you get in there, there's no turning back and you will be adjusting your lines as you're making the number every time. If you want to get your lines really equal and your numbers to look great, use some type of marking on your knife or even get your measuring stick out so that way every piece of the number is the same width. I'm left-handed, I'm sorry, and I didn't realize my arm was all up in the camera until now, but I promise you I did change the angle after when I started frosting. I know this looks very confusing, but I promise you it will all come together at the end, and for me it is easier to look at the final number to make my scoring than to follow this right now step by step because I would be confused. End result is a better word. Look at the final end result of the carved out 5 and then use that to trace your lines in your rectangle. To get the really neat curving in the 5 right in the middle, you can use something that's really small, a circle, like maybe a really narrow water bottle or something, obviously clean, to get that very clean circle around it. But in reality, in the end, you're gonna decorate this with buttercream, so you really won't be able to see them rigid lines at all. I promise you this is way easier than it looks. When I first started, I was trying to get the letters and the numbers like perfect. It's smooth and it's just symmetric as I could, when in reality, like I was saying earlier, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna cover it up with buttercream. The reason why I chose to be a clean ingredient dye-free baker is because nobody else was doing it, and I feel like it's very important. I cleaned up my diet, got rid of processed foods, hydrogenated oils, artificial ingredients, so when I started my business, I wanted that to be my business model. Yeah, so now when you feel like you got your scoring right and it looks good, you're gonna go through and start cutting all the way down through both layers. Do not do this until you are 100% sure that your number looks exactly how you want it to look. There's no turning back, and it's gonna look super sloppy if you try to add in these little itty bitty pieces of cookies back to it and glue it together with buttercream. No, we're not doing that. Probably about 80% of my customers are getting cakes and cookies for their children, so I do not want to be giving anybody's kids products that I would not even give my kids myself. And by that I mean something that's gonna change a child's behavior like artificial dyes do, things that are highly processed like canola oils and vegetable oils, which is why I use olive oil because it is all natural. Yes, it's still dessert. Yes, it's still sugar and carbs and all of that good stuff, but it's from a natural source. And let me tell you what I learned since baking, not only baking, but just things in my household that I make from scratch now. It tastes way better than things that are artificially flavored. You can make it at home without having to use imitation vanilla, without having to use birthday cake infused flavoring. You don't have to. You don't need all of those extra flavors. When you pray to God and ask him how to help you with creating recipes, he will. He's going to come through and they're going to be great. They're going to be amazing. Just look at my customer reviews. So let's get into the 0. I'm just going to score lightly on the 4 corners until I feel like I have them how I want them. And then I do go in the middle and make sure that the sides of the zeros are even because you don't want one side of the 0 thicker than the other. So just eyeball it and do your best. It doesn't need to be down to the matching centimeter. It's going to get frosted anyways. So now that I have it how I want it, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting all of the sides off and eyeballing it still as I'm cutting them off, because sometimes our eyes can be wrong and you start cutting it all the way off and it looks kind of funky. And that's why I'm kind of pushing the edges in a little bit so they look a little bit more rounded. The cookie pieces that I am cutting off do go into a Ziploc bag for the customer to have. But y'all keep watching. I will be back. Now that the shaping is done, I did place each cookie number onto a 10 by 14 cake board. I did put buttercream directly on the cake board in the shape of the number, so when you do put the number down, it sticks to the board like glue and is not moving all over the place. Yes, this is double layered, so it goes cake board, buttercream, cookie, more buttercream, and then the second layer of cookie on top of the buttercream. Once again, the cookie is stuck to the board, and then the second layer is stuck to the first layer of the cookie with buttercream. I did not make this dark brown black color with petroleum, crude oil, plastic, or gasoline. It's actually black cocoa powder. Chocolate buttercream is amazing, but what's even better is when you put the black cocoa powder in it. It's just nice and rich, and it has a deep flavor to it. Imagine finding out that you ate something that had crude oil in it and was disguised as something else. I could not imagine. If it is not a natural source, I do not use it in my business. Many times customers want me to make Oreo flavored things, Biscoff cookie butter things, and that's fine, but it takes more time because I have to make those Oreos homemade and that Biscoff cookie homemade. I can't just go to the store and buy it and stick it on a cupcake. But with that, I yield. So this blue buttercream is from Spirulina, a natural source. Now, if we go too dark with the Spirulina, we will start having Spirulina flavored buttercream. So just remember, when you switch to using dye-free coloring instead of the artificial coloring, you have to stick to pastel color. By pastel colors, I mean light colors. This is the pattern that I choose to do, that I like, that has stuck with me. I don't want to overwhelm my cake, so I stick with two colors, well, three technically, two main colors, and then I come in with the white to fill in the gaps. If a customer asks for more colors, yes, I just go ahead and do it. Y'all stay and watch. I will be right back. So now that I'm done, I come through with my scraper to get the remaining buttercream off that kind of oozed out from underneath the cookie cake when we placed it on the board, or any mistakes that I made, like the blue that dropped right on the board. It gives it a cleaner look, and remove as many of the crumbs as possible as you can. So there you have it, how to cut and decorate a number 50 dye-free clean ingredient cookie cake.